Hello everybody. I'm doing a little different video tonight. Normally I cover audio equipment and other electronics, and so if you're into that, please check out my other videos. But tonight I'm going to be covering a cryptocurrency called LUNC. Now, I first got involved in LUNC several years ago. I was, took money out of my bank because everybody was staking USTC, making 20% interest. I mean, it was just great, making like $100 or $2 a month. And it was great until it wasn't, till the DPEG and all that. I'm sure you may have heard of this on the news, but ever since then, I've kind of kept up with the community, and it's a great community, by the way. And I've been keeping up with it, and I've been trying to figure out a way we can bring it back. Excuse me, I can't hardly talk tonight, folks, but excuse me. So I'm going to discuss in this video or presentation how I think we can bring it back. Now, I've did it in a slideshow format so I don't forget anything. So the first step, we need to buy back our blockchain. Now, basically our blockchain is pretty much owned by the exchanges now. I mean, we have very little on here. I'm staking a little bit of LUNC, and I noticed the percentage got down to 7%, and so we obviously don't own too much of our blockchain now. Very small. I guess you could look on LUNC Dash to probably get the exact numbers, but we need to, for any business to succeed, you got to make money. So we need to buy back our blockchain so we can have some money to make money. And I'll show you in this presentation how I think we can do that. Okay, so that's the first step, is to buy back our blockchain. Second step, elect a team with limited powers to get things done. We need people that can officially communicate with exchanges and CoinMarketCap to be the voice of our blockchain. This will be just like a PR right here, like a lot of people might just volunteer for this. This will be people that will communicate with exchanges and such as that, and maybe help set up a website, because we're probably the only blockchain that don't really have a website. We need somebody to kind of set up a website and talk with exchanges, CoinMarketCap. Basically the way it would work was we would vote on something, and we would get these people to kind of put it in motion. Like we'd say, we want to ask an exchange this, or we want to do this on CoinMarketCap, and we would give the people power that we've elected to do that. And there'd probably be a lot of people that would, probably do it for free. So this, we could pay them a little bit, but this right here shouldn't be something that would cost us a lot of money. So then the next step was, we need people working for LUNC on a continual basis, not just to hire for a project type deal. They would maintain the chain and develop and implement things I will mention in this presentation. Now, like I previously said, right now we're just on a paper hire thing, and so this would be what we were going to go to right here. And some goals: short term, to increase the total value locked to the LUNC ecosystem. Now, total value locked is the total amount of DeFi on the blockchains, and a lot of people use this to kind of determine one of the things they determine to determine how much a coin is worth or what a blockchain is worth. It's not everything. You have transactions and hype and other things that determine the value, but this is just one of them. At one time, as far as TVL, we were the #2 blockchain before we DPEG'd. We were like 1/4 the size of ETH, and I have full confidence, had we not DPEG'd, it would probably passed ETH a year ago, if it had kept going. But and then the second is we need to start the repeg process. We need to get this in motion. We've been talking about it a long time, and there's a team, that are trying to do that now, and I applaud them. And what I'm going to discuss in this video shouldn't affect the repeg team at all. I'm certainly not saying anything about undoing what they're doing. I'm for what they're doing, so I just want to make that clear. This should work alongside of what they're doing, and should make what they're doing easier, actually. So just want to make that clear. I'm not trying to replace anybody or totally just undo everything, because I'm definitely for the repeg process and for the repeg team that's doing it right now. Okay, so then the next, we need to burn a large amount of LUNC. That's pretty obvious. That's something we've been needing to do for a while. Okay, now the long-term goals is get LUNC supply down 1 billion. This may be kind of hard because you may have big holders that just don't never sell, even if we do a bunch of stuff. You may have people that just keep holding. So, but we're going to do our best to get LUNC supply below 1 billion. We're going to totally repeg USTC, and we're going to become a top 10 crypto and market cap again. Not financial advice. And to be clear, this video is not to get people into LUNC. This is basically a video for the people that are already in LUNC to try to bring the blockchain back so they can be successful, with their blockchain. So it's for the LUNC holders that are already in it. I mean, if somebody wants to get in it, great, but I'm just saying this is not to try to sell somebody LUNC and try to drive the price up. I mean, we're hoping that's going to happen, but I'm not saying that, I'm not giving a dollar amount and saying it's going to happen, because people may not implement any of this, but if they even implement some of it, it should help. So if they implement it all, I think it would be a game changer. But okay, so then next, here's how we're going to buy back our blockchain. I've got this idea of 7 moon coins. Now, these will be a 3-in-1 token, a meme, a governance, and a burn token. I don't think we've ever had anything like it. And just some name suggestions: red moon, blue moon, green moon, half moon, full moon, silver moon. There's any number of moons we could have. We can all determine that later, but it just needs to be along with LUNC, since LUNC is kind of a moon symbol, and we know kind of going like that, it would make a great meme in my opinion. And it's just something we can run with. Okay, and as far as the meme token, these will be marketed as memes with catchy symbolism. Everybody loves memes, but also would be a governance token. And just to start, we can change later, but just say they're equal to 100 LUNC. This will not be much now, but could be a lot if we meet our goals. We must also stress there's no expectation of profit, only possible leadership in the blockchain at a later date. Now, this is just for the SEC regulatory clarity right here is why we're doing that. So, the burn token, we'll do a pre-sale of 1 billion each of the tokens at $1 each. Obviously, they won't all sell, but the remainder will be used for a staking pool to increase the TVL of the blockchain. Okay, burn suggested percentages. This could change depending on voting. 40% of proceeds will buy back and burn LUNC. 40% will go to buy equal amounts of LUNC and USTC from exchanges for on-chain swaps and liquidity. Now, something I didn't put in this presentation, but something we also need to do, we also need to buy a percentage of what's that circle coin? USD and UST. I mean US. It's the one with a T, the USD and UST, whatever it's called. So we need to buy those stable coins to kind of back up LUNC to start with as well. So we're going to also, so we might have to go with 35 and 35 instead of 40 and 40, because we do need to buy some other stables to be on our blockchain to begin with, for liquidity. Okay, so, and for on-chain swaps and liquidity, 10% to hire an in-house development team, and 10% for LUNC rewards pool. Note the 7 moons excess tokens will only go to the 7 moon stakers and as incentives for USTC loans, so as not to dilute. Okay, now we need to enable swaps directly on LUNC. After we have done all this, we need to re-enable swaps on our blockchain. I applaud the decentralized exchanges, but we need our own. We could possibly buy out one of these or create our own. Stress, we need a good team to run this. Now, what many of you know what happened to Terraport, and I'm not going to go into that. If you don't, just look it up or whatever. But they're doing pretty good now. But we don't want what originally happened to them to happen to us. So we want to make sure we got a good team. Okay. Now, first thing, we're going to have to pre-sell the 7 moon coins. We need to pre-sell one at a time and offer lockup incentives. Example, people that lock up after Genesis and have all 7 of a certain amount locked up Example, 5 tokens each for a year will receive a supermoon worth 7,000 LUNC in voting power in addition to what they already have. So they would originally have had 3,500 tokens of voting power, and now they'll have double. Actually, they'll have triple of that because they're getting what's that, 1,100? 10,500 versus 3,500 if they lock it up. Now, this lockup will increase the TVL of the blockchain, because that's what we're going for. A larger TVL. Everything we're going to do is try to increase the TVL. Okay, so next we need to become the market maker for USTC. Once we buy back over 50% of the UST supply, we need to relaunch Anchor. Maybe call it Anchor 2 for regulatory, and airdrop Anchor holders so they won't feel cheated. Once we restart Anchor, this should not affect the current plans of repegging, but make them easier. The teams that are currently creating a repeg plan could run this portion. I'm not experiencing the numbers crunching of repegging, and as far as how that module works, but only in the best way to get to that point. We need to release Anchor 2 tokens as we can afford to back up the liquidity in LUNC and USTC and USDC. We need a full stablecoin backing of each. We need to bring the confidence back to LUNC and USTC. How do we get the confidence back? We need USTC backed by $1 in LUNC and 50 cents each of USDT and USDC. It would speed things up to have a partner in this such as CZ, but it can be done without but take longer. Obviously having somebody like CZ, would cost more, but I would much rather do that. It would just make things go so much faster if we could, but we can do it without. If we spread the word and nobody wants to do it, that's reputable like him, or with Binance or whatever. If they don't want to do it, we just proceed as planned. But if we can get somebody like that, it'd be worth a little percentage off or whatever to get it, get it done faster, because we would like to get it done before the end of the bull run if possible. Okay, once we get 90% of the USTC, we can permanently peg it to $1. What do I mean? We will not allow trading in the formula below $1 USTC for LUNC burning purposes. The minimum bid price will be 0.995 and the maximum 105. This will be used for the arbitrage. The swapping between the two would have to be exempt from a burn tax for it to work, for the arbitrage to work. Now, if possible, we would just eliminate just everything in Anchor, not LUNC swaps outside of Anchor, but just like LUNC swaps within Anchor. If possible, we would exempt the burn tax. If we can't, it may be too hard to unscramble eggs to do away with the burn tax for this part of it. If we can't, then we'll just have to leave the burn tax and see what happens, I guess. But hopefully we can do that, eliminate the burn tax for this portion of it. Okay, now the side effects of all this, the exchanges aren't going to be so happy we're buying all their assets for our super exchange owned by LUNC holders. We'll offer them the ability to keep the remaining LUNC on their exchange and buy no more from them, but they must agree to our rules. Now, we can only do this obviously once we have a lot of leverage. We can't do this. We can throw it out there way before then if they know which way everything's headed. Maybe they'll bend and we can do this. But once we get the leverage, we should be able to do it. We will have a 0.7% burn tax and give exchanges 0.2% of this. Now, I don't think anything like this has been done before. Pretty much exchanges, from what I understand, like they will get a token, and their only expenses, off chain, swapping to a different blockchain or to the main net of the blockchain. My understanding is they pretty much, have addresses, and it's pretty much about free on their exchange, because they pretty much just divvy everything out to the addresses, and it doesn't really cost them anything on their own exchange. I think that's how it works. I could be wrong. Please leave in the comments if that's not right. But what we would be doing is we want our blockchain to be control every single swap. We want them to know what we would do, basically, to better explain it. we would have all our blockchain, and they wouldn't really have separate wallets like they're doing now. Their blockchain, we would notate, say like Binance or Kraken. We would everything on Binance would put a B by it. Everything on Kraken would put a K. And what we would do is we would give them 0.2% of every swap, but the swaps will be on our blockchain, so we would have the right to burn it. Versus now, so we would basically have every bit of LUNC. Everything would be like now would be considered off chain. Everything would be off chain basically, So there would basically be just the exchanges will be just getting a commission for the part of their exchange that is holding that LUNC. Once we get this agreement going. So we'll have to see how this works, but once we get the leverage and get 90%, we should be able to do this. Okay, and then next, and that should burn a tremendous amount of LUNC, by the way. Final goal is to have everything on our blockchain, which I just mentioned, and notate certain parts for each exchange to receive a 0.2% fee. This is only after we have the majority of the assets. At this point, all transactions other than USTC to LUNC swaps would have burn tax implemented. This should burn a lot of LUNC. All USTC to other assets and Moon tokens to other assets will burn LUNC at the recommended amount of 0.7%. Why 0.7%? That's a biblical number. Okay, unstaking fees. Another way to burn LUNC. Another way to burn LUNC is with offering early unstaking and adding burn fees. Examples of fees: 21-day fees, like it is right now. There would be no fee. 7 days, 3%, 1 day, 7%. Now, while that sounds high, because 7% is a whole year's worth of interest on LUNC, but when you think about it, say if somebody's up a 3x due to LUNC pumping, a lot of people wouldn't think twice about a 7% fee. Now, this should burn a lot of LUNC. Because a lot of people, don't have patience and they want to sell at a certain time. And some might be willing to wait 7 days because there's less risk of the price going down. A lot of times 21 days there's a big risk of the pump being over or something. So a lot of people don't want to risk that. So 7% is nothing to these people. But as mentioned, that would burn a tremendous amount of LUNC. So, this should burn a lot when the market pumps and people want LUNC right then. Okay, now we need a real lending procedure, not just something made up to mint USTC, which I feel like is probably a lot of what was going on when the other people ran Luna. Now we would need about a 3% over the USTC payout rate. Now this is pretty competitive with banks. I think they're at 5%. We need to offer incentives along with this, such as Anchor 2 tokens and leftover Moon coins. That's another use of the Moon coins, to the borrowers. And we need to, they couldn't be like they could just, take out a loan and get their coins and then, cancel the loan. There'd have to be a time limit to keep the coins. So now the borrowed assets will be backed by 2x Bitcoin or 1.5 stables, such as USDT or USDC. Now, not to offend any Bitcoin maxis, but the stables are just a lot more stable than Bitcoin. That's why we would require 2x Bitcoin. Now, we would only lend out as much as we have loans. If we don't have enough loans, people would get on a waiting list. Now, there's not going to be a way to have a perfect balance between borrows and staking or whatever you call it on Anchor. It's not going to be perfect, so we're going to need a formula to kind of figure this out, and just kind of keep us a little bit ahead. This way we don't get too big too fast like Luna did, and we don't get in a hole. We want to stay on top of this thing and actually have what we're paying out backed by loans, not just minting stuff out of thin air. Okay, and so in summary, let's bring back LUNC. This was my opinion on how we can make Luna a #1 blockchain again. If you agree, let's put this up for a proposal, on Commonwealth, and then then on whatever you call it on the LUNC. I can't remember what you call it. I've actually put something on there before a long time ago, but I can't think what you call it. Directly on the blockchain that you have to pay ever how much to do. And thank you guys for watching, and God bless you all. And let's make LUNC great again.